Guys, so today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I believe to be the best investments right now that are under $10. So without further ado, we are going to hop right into this video. And so the first card that I have on this list might be a little bit surprising to most people, and that is going to be Ja Morant's Optic rookie card. Now, of course, Ja Morant has been, as I'm recording this, he hasn't even returned yet from his suspension, and there's just a lot of uncertainty about his future. And so a lot of people have been selling off Ja Morant cards. Ja Morant's cards have taken a humongous hit over the last couple of weeks, and they currently sit at a very steep discount. Now, I do believe there is a good chance that Ja Morant will be able to use this situation as a learning point for the future and to obviously, act it more in line with what the NBA wants. And I do think if Ja Morant is able to push past this situation, which I believe he will be able to, I think we can see some great upside in Ja Morant's cards to get back to where they were before, if not to get even higher. I just think right now the uncertainty is super high. Prices are super low. It's a good buying opportunity. It is a little bit risky if he continues to go down the wrong road, but I do think that's a little bit unlikely right now that he will continue down the wrong road. So I do think in the short term, if Ja Morant can have a great playoffs, if people can look past the situation, we're going to see his prices bounce back up. His Optic rookies all the way down to $10, which is pretty much barely more than Bam Adebayo and some other players' Optic rookies. So I do think there's a good amount of upside right now in Ja Morant's card market. Now, without further ado, we are going to hop right into this next pick, and that is going to be Trevor Lawrence. I know I've talked to you guys a lot about Trevor Lawrence already. I do know that he does have some rookie cards that are still under $10, and I truly believe that this offseason, Trevor Lawrence is going to get a massive bump in his prices. Football just changes so fast. The NFL landscape changes so fast. And I think based on what we saw last playoffs, Trevor Lawrence can have the potential to be right there with guys like Herbert and Burrow in terms of popularity to invest in the sports card hobby. And I do think, we saw last offseason, Herbert and Burrow got super hot leading into the next year, and I do think we could see Trevor Lawrence be the player who is very hot going into next season, and I do think it's warranted based on his playoff performance last year. So I do truly believe that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big run-up in prices over the coming months, so I'm personally a buyer in a lot of Trevor Lawrence's higher-end cards, but I do see a lot of upside in his lower-end stuff because I think the investor pool for Trevor Lawrence is really going to rise over the next couple months. I think there's going to be a lot more people interested. Right now, we're in the offseason. Not many people are looking at football cards. Most people have their eyes glued to basketball playoffs, MLB starting, but I think Trevor Lawrence could be one of the best offseason plays in my personal opinion. So without further ado, we are going to hop right into this next pick, and that is going to be Kobe Bryant's 2008 Topps. Now, of course, this has become such an important card of Kobe Bryant's. It's, of course, him being guarded by LeBron James. I know there's certain cards that are selling for over $10 for these. It's just really tough to kind of find them, but I do believe that if you're able to find one for a good price, Kobe's 2008 Topps is one of his most iconic cards, and I think his card market has got beaten up a little bit more than it should have. I think there's going to be a lot of upside given the amount of Kobe collectors, given that this is one of the most collectible cards with him being guarded by LeBron, two all-time Laker greats, and of course LeBron is super popular as well. So I just think overall for a Lakers fan, this is going to be one of the most sought-after cards, and there is going to be a lot of upside moving forward, given that right now the demand is super low and so many people are selling, and as prices go up, a lot less people will be selling. Without further ado, we are going to hop right into the next pick. I know this might surprise you guys a little bit as well, and that is going to be Chris Paul and his Topps rookie. So as you guys obviously know, Kevin Durant has joined the Phoenix Suns, and I think this could be Chris Paul's golden opportunity to finally win an NBA championship. I know it's still a long ways away. The West is very competitive. There's many teams that can contend, but I believe that the Suns will be one of them. And I think Chris Paul is obviously known as one of the greatest point guards of all time, if not one of the greatest true point guards of all time. And I do think overall, the one thing everyone knows he's missing is the NBA championship. And if he can't get it, I think the sentiment for Chris Paul in the long term is going to totally shift. And I think Chris Paul's card market is going to ignite, as we saw when they made the finals a couple years back. So I do think it is a low-risk investment because of Chris Paul already being an all-time great point guard. So I think his prices are already undervalued. But given the fact that he has a chance to win a championship with Kevin Durant on his team this season, and of course Booker and Ayton, I think this could be a great buying opportunity for Chris Paul's rookie cards. So I think it may be a little bit more of a patient play if he doesn't win the finals or make the finals this season. But regardless, I think it's a low-risk, high-reward investment, and that's what I'm always looking for. So I do believe that is a great investment. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into the next pick, and that is going to be Paul George's 2012 Prism, or his 2012 Prism Silver. His Prism Silvers are a little bit more than $10. If you do have the budget, I would recommend the Prism Silver, but for the sake of this video, we're going to look at his base Prism. So as you guys know, Paul George does not have a proper real rookie card. His year that he was a rookie was pretty much the year that cards were not really popular. And so that's why you see a lot of investors going towards his first year Prism. And I do believe that, when Paul George is healthy and locked in, he is a superstar in this league, and I think everyone has forgotten that. And the eyes have been away from the Clippers for the longest time, for the last couple of years. So I think this postseason is a great opportunity for Paul George to show the NBA that he is a superstar again. And I think if he can prove that, we're going to see a lot of his cards really rise in value. So I think just given how low these have gotten, I remember when this card was around an $80 card. Now you can get a PSA 10 for $22. I just think there's a good amount of upside, not much risk, given how low the prices have gotten, and it's still being a first-year Prism card. So I think it's just a good low-risk, high-reward investment. If the Clippers are able to make something happen this year, and Paul George is able to get back into the spotlight this postseason. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video.